Hello and welcome to Freshly Served Healthy Vegan Recipes. I'm Heather and today we are continuing on with our Christmas series of recipes. Today we will be tackling stuffing. And stuffing obviously is usually meant to be stuffed inside of a turkey, but we can do a healthy vegan version by using brown rice, and I'll give you some tips along the way on how to make a delicious stuffing. Stuffing is usually based on bread, which you can do as well if you can find a bread that is a vegan bread, but brown rice is a lot healthier, so I'm going to show you how to make a delicious stuffing using brown rice. So what I'm going to do is start with some rice in a pot, and I'm cooking for quite a few people, so I've got 2 cups of brown rice. Then you're going to add, as always with grains, you need to add twice as much water as you have grains. So for 2 cups of rice, I'm going to add 4 cups of liquid. What I'm going to do to make this taste really nice and special is I'm going to add some apple cider as part of my liquid. And I think what I'm going to do is use 1 cup of apple cider and 3 cups of water. So 1/4 of my liquid is going to be apple cider. Now I also have some pineapple juice in the fridge that I was really tempted to use because I love pineapple. But one of the ingredients in our stuffing today is actually apples. So I thought that would go really nicely. Plus there's some Christmassy seasonings in apple cider like cinnamon, nutmeg, that kind of yummy stuff. So next I'm going to add 3 cups of water along with some salt, pepper, and I'm going to use thyme for an herb. You can use whichever herb you like. Rosemary is really nice if you like rosemary, or marjoram or basil, or just a mix of Italian seasonings. So get all that in the pot, put it on, get it boiling, and then once it's boiling, you're going to turn it down to minimum, let it simmer for about 45 minutes. Exactly how you would normally cook brown rice. We're just adding some extra seasoning to make the brown rice taste really, really delicious. So while that rice is cooking away, you're going to chop up and lightly saute some vegetables. I've got some mushrooms chopped right here, and what you want to do is get things chopped up pretty fine in small little chunks. So I'm going to do the same thing with my carrots, celery, onion, garlic, and some apple. So when you saute these vegetables, you're going to start with the mushrooms. Let them get really nice, soft, dark brown. Just use a little bit of oil for them. They'll release their juices and everything will be fine. Then you'll add the onion and let it get translucent so that you can see through it a little bit. The reason we add each vegetable individually is to let each of their flavors develop first and then combine with the rest. So we start with the mushrooms, then the onion, then the garlic, then the carrots. Just let them soften a little bit. They don't need to fully cook because this is going to bake afterwards. Then the celery, just briefly, and then last but not least, we'll season with some salt and some more thyme or whatever herbs you're using. Now, like I said, this is going to bake afterwards, but what you want to do is saute these vegetables first. And you can do this a day or 2 ahead of Christmas so that when you actually get to the time of preparing the meal, you can just take this whole dish, put it in the oven, bake it, heat it up, you're ready to go. Mushrooms take a little while to cook, but don't worry, they'll get there. Just let them have their time on the heat and then you can move on. Now you'll find the recipe for today's stuffing along with my whole series of vegan Christmas recipes at healthyveganrecipes.net/Christmas. Alright, so depending on how you like your mushrooms, you can cut it off right here, keep going a little bit, but this is the first stage you're looking for. They can get a little bit browner from here, a little bit softer in texture. The reason we add mushrooms to the pan and saute them before onions, because normally onions are the first things to go in, right? But mushrooms are one of the thirstiest vegetables around, so they will suck up any kind of moisture that's there in the pan, including the juice from the onions. And then you'll have onion flavored mushrooms, which might be good for certain situations, but in general, I like to have each flavor be distinct and then come together in the dish. So we're gonna have mushroom flavored mushrooms, onion flavored onions, and then we're gonna mix them together and let all those flavors combine with the carrots, the celery, the garlic, the apple, all that good stuff. Okay, so after the mushrooms, you're gonna put the onions in, and at that point, it's just to get the vegetables a little bit softer and get them ready to go in and bake later on. So the onions soften, garlic softens, carrots just until they start to turn a little bit brighter orange, celery just a couple minutes, well really like 30 seconds with the celery. It'll start to soften just a little, and then the apple, throw it in, and then we're going to season. So we'll get some salt on there, some black pepper. The grinder's not working so well today. And I'm gonna do thyme, same seasonings that I put into the rice. Okay, so work with whatever seasonings you like, whether it's a mixed Italian herb or thyme, rosemary, marjoram, oregano, basil. All of those herbs are excellent. So give it a stir, and then you can turn the heat off. And you just gotta wait for your rice to finish cooking. So once your rice is fully cooked, and you can tell when the water has all absorbed right into the rice, then you're going to add your vegetables to that pot. I'm just gonna dump them right in here. Give them a stir through. There's a lot of them. Okay. So get that stirred together somewhat. And then I'm going to add some dried cranberries. Always an excellent addition to Christmas dinner. And some sliced almonds. I always get confused as to which is called sliced and which is called slivered. And these, I believe, are actually called slivered, even though I feel like they should be called sliced. So dump them in there. You can use whatever type of nuts you like. Hazelnuts are wonderful. Pecans are nice as well. And if you don't like dried cranberries, or if you don't want to get them, raisins or currants are another nice option. So get that all stirred together. And then what you're going to do is save this stuffing mix until you are ready to get dinner together. And what you can do as a vegan, because we aren't cooking turkeys, is you can actually stuff this stuffing into the shell or the skin of a squash if you're making squash for Christmas dinner, or sweet potato if you're doing sweet potato, or even potatoes if you want to save your potato skins that you bake, and stuff this right into the potatoes and then bake it in the oven to heat it up. You can also just make it the day of and enjoy it hot out of the pot, or you can just bake it on its own in a baking dish without worrying about stuffing it into a vegetable. It's just a nice idea to infuse flavor into the stuffing from the squash or the sweet potato. That's the beauty of putting stuffing into a turkey, is that the juices from the turkey infuse flavor into the stuffing. So however you enjoy it, I hope you make this a part of your Christmas dinner. Healthy brown rice stuffing. You can find the recipe at healthyveganrecipes.net/Christmas, along with all of the rest of my Christmas videos. I'm Heather. This is Freshly Served.